friends, welcome here. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca, and today I want to talk about 25 things that I no longer buy. But first, can we just acknowledge the fact that it's 56 degrees out and I feel the need to be wrapped in this like blankety scarf shawl blanket thing? I just recently moved to Southern California from New England, so you think I'd be used to it because, you know, it's freezing and there's 8 months of winter and it's always snowing and cold and terrible in New England. And then I move here and it's 55 degrees and I'm like, this is an outrage, like must wear blanket. I'm a disgrace to my New England roots. All right, so 25 things I no longer buy. And this is not just things I don't buy because I'm a minimalist. Some of them are about saving money, some of them are just because it's better for the environment, and some are just better for my health. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy any of these things. I think you should bring into your life whatever it is that makes you happy and you feel like you need. These are just 25 things that I personally no longer buy. All right, let's get started. All right, the first thing that I no longer buy are paper towels. It's been years since I've bought paper towels, and really this just was a habit change more than anything. Paper towels are pretty convenient, you know, anytime you need to dry something or wipe something up, they're right there and then you can just toss them away. But they're also really, really wasteful and expensive. So we just keep a stack of towels on the kitchen counter, and anytime we need to wipe something up, just grab one of those towels, and then if it's not super dirty, we'll hang it up to dry and use it again. If it is super dirty, we'll just throw it in the washing machine. So to be completely honest, a couple days ago, we actually did buy a roll of paper towels for the first time, I don't know, in 7 or 8, in a really long time. And it was because we got a dog, and we got the dog from a rescue, and we didn't know if she was house trained, and to clean up like dog urine or dog feces, I felt like it was a job for a paper towel. So I do think that there are times when a paper towel could be super useful. We didn't end up needing them. They're still packaged in the closet. Maybe we'll need them sometime in the future. But for everyday life, having a dog that doesn't poop inside, we do not need paper towels. The second thing is pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Not only are they more expensive when you pay someone else to cut them up for you, but they're usually wrapped in plastic. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know before we were in this house in Joshua Tree, California, we were living in a 1969 Volkswagen bus. I will admit that buying pre-washed and pre-cut fruits and vegetables when you're living in a space like a Volkswagen bus is so convenient. And I definitely did it when we were living in the bus just to save like our own water with having to wash it, just with saving like the space and time with having to cut stuff up. Like it's very inconvenient to cook in a Volkswagen bus. However, since transitioning from living in the bus to living in this house, I am really trying to cut back on the amount of money and plastic that is wasted on paying someone else to cut my fruits and vegetables for me. The third thing is bottled water. And this is really just another habit that I developed. Every time I leave the house, I will take my water bottle with me. I really don't go anywhere without it, just so I don't end up in the situation where I have to buy bottled water. And I think we all know that bottled water is a huge strain on the environment. There's a lot of plastic that's involved, so I don't buy bottled water. The fourth thing that I no longer buy is deodorant. I know what you're thinking. Gross, right? But let me just explain myself. So for years and years, I tried every natural deodorant there was to try and find a formula that worked for me. I could not find one that A, worked and covered up any stinkiness that was happening, and B, didn't break my skin out. I have literally tried everyone under the sun. And so one day I was like, you know what? What if I just stop? What if I just don't wear deodorant? What is going to happen? And I said to my husband, I was like, you need to tell me if I'm the stinky girl and I smell and I don't know it. But a magical thing happened where my body adjusted to not having any product on my underarm and I don't smell. Number 5 has 2 parts to it. The first is that I no longer buy household cleaners. I do make my own, just a little bit of white vinegar, some water, and a couple drops of bergamot essential oil. And the bergamot does have some antibacterial properties to it, but the vinegar smell is just really strong and I like the smell of bergamot, so I just kind of cover the vinegar smell with the essential oil. And the second part to it is that I also don't have different cleaners for different things in my house. I clean everything with this vinegar mixture, and some things I'll just add some baking soda to it. So I don't have a different cleaner for like glass or floors or walls or all the things that you clean. I just use this for everything and it works. Number 6 is cable. So we don't own a TV, we do have a laptop, and we both obviously have phones, but we don't have a television and don't really have a need for cable. I do know a lot of people who are sports fans and say that they definitely need cable to watch sports, and if that's your jam, that's awesome. We're not really sports fans, so it makes it easy for us to cut that expense out of our lives. We do have a Netflix subscription, so if we're gonna watch anything, it's usually on Netflix. Number 7 is anything that is not on the list. So don't laugh at me, but I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep in my Google Drive of things that I want to purchase. So anytime I think of a thing that I feel like I need, I will put it on the list. Or if I happen to be online and I come across something that I'm like, oh, I want to buy that, I will also put that on the list. And then I don't allow myself to purchase anything unless it's been on the list for like at least a few weeks. So a good example of this for me are Instagram ads. I feel like I'm always served up Instagram ads that are like pretty spot on. They're always showing me things that I'm like, I definitely need this. This is like a thing I need in my life. Instead of just going and buying that thing, I will click on the ad, I'll copy and paste the link to the item into the list, and then I'll go back in a few weeks and revisit it. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll be like, you know what, this really does serve a good purpose in my life. I do really want this. I haven't stopped thinking about it in the 3 weeks since I put it on the list. I'm gonna go ahead and purchase that. Or I'll go back and I'll look at something on the list and be like, what was I thinking when I was scrolling on Instagram at 2 o'clock in the morning? There's no way that I need this or want this. Number 8 is skincare. As I am a lady of a certain age and maturity level in my life, I often feel pressured to do certain things to my skin to keep it looking young. However, I do not buy any sort of skincare for my skin. I am a lady in the later part of her 30s who has lived her life outside, and I'm going to look like that, and that's okay. So not only do I not buy skincare because I feel like a lot of it is kind of a waste of money, I also just want to embrace all the wrinkles and lines and dryness and weirdness and patchiness and blotchiness and spots and red things. They're all part of me and my face and what my face looks like at this point in my life. So I do not buy skincare. I do put coconut oil on my face only because it feels nice on my skin and I like it. Number 9, I no longer buy anything that has a fragrance in it. Nothing with fragrance. Not only are the formulas with fragrances in them really not good for your health, I just don't really like it. And since I cut out fragrances in my life, I'm very sensitive to fragrances too. So a good example of this is, I told you we got a dog a couple days ago, and the adoption agency gave us some poop bags when we adopted her just so that we had some on hand, and they're fragranced very strongly. And I'm so sensitive to it that we keep them in a cabinet in the kitchen, and when I walk in the house, all I can smell is the poop bags. Like, we ended up having to put them outside. I said to my husband at one point, like, we just like gotta get through these poop bags so that we can buy new ones. Like, I'm not gonna throw them away because that's just wasteful, but I can't wait for them to be out of my life. Number 10 is extra food. So we will plan our meals for the week, and when we go to the grocery store, only buy what we are planning on eating. We try and resist the urge to buy like little snacky things or extra things that we feel like we don't need and just are having around to have more food around, or we feel like it's not gonna get eaten. It just is a waste of money to have that much food around, and it can be a waste of food. Like, food will go bad and you never eat it. So we have a very minimal pantry, really only what we use on a daily or weekly basis and nothing more than that. Number 11 is duplicates. So this is kind of an overarching category of things. So if I already have something, I'm not going to buy another one of those things. So one instance of that would be like a pair of scissors. I happen to live in a very small one-story house, so if I need the scissors, I will just walk to the kitchen and get the scissors. I don't feel like I need scissors like in the kitchen and in the living room and in one of the bedrooms. Like, the scissors are very accessible, so I don't need more than one pair of scissors. Or take clothing, for example. If I know I already have like a lightweight spring jacket, I'm not gonna buy another lightweight spring jacket. So I tend to buy like more neutral clothing that matches the rest of my wardrobe so that I don't have to buy duplicates of things. Number 12 are items on sale. If something that is on my list or on our grocery list happens to be on sale, like, sweet, bonus. We're gonna buy that because it's on the list and we need it. But I'm not going to buy something just because it's on sale. So if I come across a pair of sandals that are on sale, I'm not gonna buy them just because they're on sale because I know I don't need any sandals. It's not something that I put on my list of things that I need to replace in my life or things I need to bring in my life. And I'm not gonna let myself be enticed by the cheap price tag. Number 13 is drinking glasses. So we reuse old jars as drinking glasses, and we don't use different glasses for different types of drinks. So we do have different sizes, like we have some big 1 liter jars, and we have some like littler ones, and we have some like teeny tiny ones, but we don't have different types of glasses for different drinks. So for instance, if you come over to my house and you bring a bottle of champagne, like I don't have champagne glasses, I'm probably gonna serve you that champagne in an old pickle jar. Number 14 are knickknacks. I like to surround myself and have my environment be reflective of things that I love and are meaningful to me. I don't like to fill my space with stuff just to fill my space with stuff. And granted, yes, I know you're probably laughing at me because I'm in a completely empty house and we are working on putting things in it. We just moved here. But the things that we do bring into our space, we will do so very intentionally and will be things that are meaningful to us, not just things to have things. And also, I just don't want to dust all those things either. Number 15 is cheap clothes. Now, I used to be a pretty big consumer of fast fashion. I was like, this is perfect. These pieces are trendy, but they're not expensive, so I can buy a bunch of them and not feel bad because I'm not spending a ton of money. However, as I started to become a little bit more knowledgeable about the production practices and the impact on the environment and the way that workers are treated and the conditions at which you're working in, I started to move away from fast fashion, but also the clothes would just fall apart. I have this very distinct memory of buying this pair of jeans for $12, being really excited about them and pulling them on for the very first time and having them completely fall apart. Like the back pocket fell off and at the same time one of the belt loops pulled off, all just because I was pulling them on. And I wasn't even pulling them that hard, like they were the correct size and everything. They just were so poorly made. So just the combination of the way cheap clothing is made, the impact it has on our environment and the people, and the fact that if you buy a $12 pair of jeans, you're probably gonna have to buy another $12 pair of jeans in the not too distant future, made no sense to me. So now when I'm shopping for clothes, I'm definitely looking for things that are ethically made and things that are more quality over quantity. Number 16 are plastic sandwich bags. It's been many years since I used these and it really just was like a behavior change. I was so used to reaching for a disposable bag anytime I wanted to like bring food anywhere or like wrap something up in the fridge. Just removing them from my house made it really easy to find alternatives. We have reusable little zipper bags that can be washed, thrown in the washing machine or just washed by hand. So when you have some alternatives around, or even when you don't, it forces you to be creative and find other solutions other than a plastic bag. Sort of along that same vein, number 17 is plastic wrap. I sort of feel like my generation and like my parents' generation, we were kind of brought up to think that the only way to keep food fresh is to wrap it in plastic wrap. And in its defense, it actually is very good at keeping food fresh, but to what expense, right? Like, you put it over your leftover spaghetti and then you put your spaghetti in the fridge and then the next day your spaghetti's nice and fresh, but you eat it and you throw the plastic wrap in the trash and then it's here for 400 years. Like, there's gotta be a better way. And there is. I stopped buying plastic wrap and sort of like with the plastic bags, I just found alternatives. Right? You can put a cloth over something. There's glass food storage containers. You can use your old pickle jar that you also serve your champagne in. Like, there's just so many other ways to keep food fresh that don't have to involve plastic. Number 18 is laundry detergent. So I don't buy soap that is specific for washing my laundry. I use, again, the white vinegar, and I also use Dr. Bronner soap. And I find that the combination of those two things gets my clothes perfectly clean and I don't need to buy something completely separate that comes in another plastic bottle to wash my clothes. I honestly have been playing around with just washing them with vinegar, which also seems to be working, but I haven't quite made the complete switch over yet, but I don't feel the need to have like a separate laundry detergent. Same thing with number 19, which is dishwashing detergent. Moving from the van into the house, this is actually the first time that I've had a dishwasher in a really long time. And I was like, what do I do with this newfangled contraption? So I threw some white vinegar in the little reservoir thing, and the dishes are pretty clean. I haven't had to buy any dishwashing detergent yet, and it's been totally fine. Number 20 is pajamas. I don't buy like separate clothes that are just for sleeping. I usually just sleep in my most comfortable clothes. If you're into cute pajamas, like, that's cool. You probably look way cuter when you're sleeping than I do, but I just wear like clothes. Number 21 is coffee filters. So if you saw my video a couple weeks ago about my top favorite zero waste products, you probably saw a reusable coffee filter, but we no longer buy coffee filters. We just have 2 reusable filters that are good for up to a year, and we no longer have to buy disposable coffee filters. Number 22. Number 22 is reusable bags. So there's definitely been a shift away from using single-use plastic bags, especially for groceries and things like that, into using the reusable bags. But I also feel like there's a tendency to like hoard reusable bags. Like we're constantly buying them because we forget them and they're like right at the cash register at the store that we're at. So I do not buy any reusable bags. I have very sturdy canvas bags that I've had for years and years, and I do not bring any new reusable bags into my life. Because they're such a low price point, I feel like we have this idea that we can just purchase them whenever we go out, which is kind of defeating the purpose. You now have another item that was manufactured and that you spent your money on. If I forget my reusable bags, I will carry all the items in my arms. Or I have a backpack that I'm usually using like as my everyday bag that I can throw some items in there. But I've been known to carry many items in my arms if I forget my reusable bag so that I'm not just purchasing another product. Number 23 is pens. So I have a pen in my desk and a pen in my backpack, and those are the pens. I feel like pens are one of those things where they're so cheap and they come in these like giant bags. So we feel like we don't really have to keep track of them because it's easy to replace them. We always have a million of them lying around. But I found now that I just have 2 pens where I can just refill the ink rather than getting a whole new pen, I am able to keep track of them and I don't need to be buying any more pens. Number 24 is souvenirs. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that we were traveling around for about 18 months and I didn't buy any souvenirs. We bought some practical things like clothing, things that we needed along the way, but our souvenirs are honestly just like our memories, as cheesy as that sounds, and also all the photographs that we took. So we didn't really find the need to bring home little knickknacks and things to remember each place by. It was enough to just take a photograph of what we were doing. We have reached the end. And the last thing that I no longer buy are excessive gifts. So especially between my husband and I, we don't buy each other birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or Valentine's Day or anniversary. We just give each other the gift of our time, and usually on like special days like birthdays or something, we'll cook each other some food or we'll go climbing together. We just value the experience of being together over a gift. All right, so that's my full list of 25 things that I no longer buy. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of things that you no longer buy. I'm interested to hear what other people don't buy. And please make sure to subscribe to this channel. I put out new videos every week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends. Gypsy girl, come. Is there anything that you no longer buy? I think that's what... I'm so thirsty. Why am I wearing this giant thing? It's tired in here. Why do you guys have to put that roof on the second I start recording? Why am I like this? So the first part is my nose itches. That's the first part. Oh my God, my nose is still itchy. Oh, God. Are you sad because you're all the way across the room?